Okay, hi team. Essentially, I wanted to talk a little bit about a potential system that teams can play with, can kind of add to their rotation to start thinking about in their team. It's something that I have been playing around with for probably over the last year. I joined a beginner team and was just trying to help them get better, essentially. I think they won't mind me saying this, but they had gone, I think, something like 20 games without a win, or I think they maybe had got one or two wins in about 20 games. And then after like a couple of seasons, we kind of got going, got cooking a little bit. We ended up winning the Division Two in our league, and I think some of that was due to implementing the key principles that I did in another video. But there was also a specific thing that I started doing that I wanted to talk about here. Typically, it's going to be 7-a-side. And we're going to talk about defense largely. So we're going to use players 1 and 2 just to kind of make this make sense. So basically, what I think I found out through playing in a beginner team where we were kind of like the underdog and sort of maybe like one of the weaker teams in the league, and how we became competitive and gave the best team in the league a game. I think within a few weeks of implementing some of these things, we ended up drawing with them like 6-all or something. So quite a low scoring game was kind of some of this stuff. So firstly, this is specifically for like more on your sort of beginner level, beginner intermediate, I reckon. The idea is that the team that you're playing against, player for player, is better than everyone on your team. Like athletically, fitness wise, skill wise, rugby wise, all of those things. So to win those games, going to be very, very difficult. Like that is a big thing that we've got to contend with. So we have to kind of play smart. So the big thing massively is firstly, you have your front 5 defenders. They are going to be tight and they're going to defend more zonally. So don't worry too much about numbering up, because the amount of effort it requires to be heads up, be locked in and count and have the right numbers. Very difficult for these front 5. So these front 5, all they're trying to do is stick together, stay tight, and make tags. What that looks like is if someone misses a tag, so if 7 misses a tag, 5 is in there to clean up. Vice versa. If here 3 misses a tag, you've got 4 and 5 sort of all nice and close. So nothing comes through the middle. That is like absolute minimum, is that we don't concede either tries or line breaks through the middle. Better teams will find these kind of like spaces. They'll have the quick guys in the middle, quick players who can just kind of burn overs and get on the outside and then just score. And then they'll have all their quick women flooding through and getting easy 2-pointers. So we want to mitigate that. Even though they might be good players and they might be rugby players and all sorts, it doesn't matter. The hardest skill for anyone in tag rugby to execute is passing more than once. So in this situation, we've got our front 5 defending in the middle. To execute this is actually quite difficult. It looks like you've got all this space here and you've got this kind of player by themselves defending a lot. But to pass, move forward, move forward and like execute this, quite difficult, especially because you're hoping that the front 5 are going to drift across and eat up this space. So as long as they're drifting hard and working together and staying together, this probably is mitigated quite easily. So those are that's the kind of fundamental building blocks. You have your front 5 just working hard together, trying not to do too much of what I saw a lot of was you'd have a bit spaced out. You'd have a rapid kind of player who likes to kind of step and run sideways a little bit. They might run across here, and this person would track and chase too hard, creating a lot of space here. They might switch, and then this person's running again over here. just getting really tired just to make a single tag. Like in defense, we're just working a lot harder because of this separation and having to cover. So like 5 here has to cover all this space. 3 is running across here. 4 is running across. It's like a lot of work. So as I said, front 5, nice and compact, forcing these guys to attack the wide channels. Now, this seems like a bit of an own goal. If you're just giving fast players easy access to the wide channels, that can't be good. Well, ideally not. But in this case, what we're going to do is our wingers are going to be our best players, basically, our best defenders, the fastest on the pitch, and the ones with the kind of like best like rugby kind of knowledge in terms of hopefully maybe you've got players who've played like wing or fullback and kind of know how to communicate from the back. So these ones are going to be your most confident defenders. They can see everything that's happening. Now they're going to do 2 things. Firstly, they're going to be the bookmarks of the defense. So they are constantly going to be squeeze. Got the arrow the wrong way. They're going to be constantly squeezing the defense together. If this guy is too wide and these guys all start spreading out, it's a problem because now we've got spaces. So you got to push. These players have got to be like, get in, give them confidence to stay nice and tight. Got to be really, really confident to go here. Now, you're doing 2 things. If these are your fastest players and your best taggers and your best like rugby players, having them on the wing is the best place for them. So a lot of these kind of players will try and take it upon themselves to make all the tags. You'll see that they'll be like, you get the ones that kind of at marker that it goes across and they start running, hurtling around like crazy, trying to make loads of tags because, they're basically not playing as a team. So don't have them in the middle; they're wasted there. Have them squeezing the defensive team in the middle. Squeeze, nice and compressed. There's a few things that happen here. If the attack gets there, so usually what happens will be like quick male players will typically be at this link position, so this kind of like 13 role, and then you get like quick women on the wing, so that basically when this guy does some crazy shit and like breaks the line, that you've got this winger like who can be here and just it's an easy 2 points basically. So it's unusual to have quick men on the wing because they might be rugby players and might have the skill set to catch the ball, beat a player, and then pass to the winger. So you're unlikely to get. You might do obviously if you get like really good women's players, like women who've played rugby and stuff. More than capable of being there, but just like generally speaking, you'll get it the other way around. So 4 is female winger. You got a male link here. If this guy tries to gets into this wide space and tries to take on your fastest player, he's going to have a lot more joy defending this person, so is more likely to have to win or to at least slow down this player. The 1v1 here is like much more difficult, so the amount of skill this link has to have in order to beat your best player is going to be much more difficult. It's the same on this side. If your other really fast, really like good tagger is on this side, the link is not going to have good access. You're going to force them to pass it to the wing. When the winger runs, then you can just make the covering tag here. Same here. If you make them pass it, you're basically defending this 2v1, and then the rest of your team can just get in there, and you take away that inside option. The other thing is if a player does whack like step through, you've then got a sort of a chase back situation where your 2 fastest best taggers have the ability to at least slow this down and can sort of like fix this and like maybe make a tag, and then they can kind of get into position, whatever. Basically front 5, you've got your fast players who can protect if there's line breaks. The other thing is if they short kick, boop, you can have your 2 players here, and if they return, you've suddenly got your 2 fastest players in the backfield with an open field to return. 2. So in summary, front 5 working together zonally, shifting across, working together, not worrying too much about person who they're marking, just like taking away the space, giving the wide channels. 1 and 2 are directing it, just commanding. So this player could be like talking to these ones, saying, "Okay, you got to come with me," or get back close. And the way they control it is like shepherding. Hey, that's a good name. We can say that these guys are shepherding. So if the ball is going in this direction, it's this player's um, job to push everyone. This one's like saying, come with me," and then this player's pushing, shepherding them to take away the space. And then when they come back this way, they switch the play. They start running over this way. It's like, come. And it's really important that this player is pushing, compressing them all in so that they're all kind of, squeezing in. If they do attack the wide channels, you've got your fast player who can kind of like buy time and help this like inside defender to make the tag, and then if the ball goes wide, you can chase them down. And then lastly, if there is a line break in the middle, you've got your fastest players to sweep that up, basically. You got to trust the process. I know it feels really weird to be like, why squeeze them all in when you've got all these like attacking players out here? But you just got to trust that they're not going to be good enough to pass and execute that. Just like, yeah. And it'll take it could take a season of trying it out before it starts clicking and you realize that it can really work. If there's just one defensive general that can kind of manage this, then great. If you're really struggling to have 2 people on the wings, you can have one person in a permanent sweeper position. This person will be the fastest, and they are directing both sides and just keep making sure that they're keeping nice and tight. If there's any line breaks out the side, then they are chasing to clear. And just having someone in the backfield like this will make line breaks very difficult, and it will make short kicking impossible, basically. So if you've got one person who's quite happy to sit in the back line, fine. The trade-off is if you have someone constantly in the backfield, there will be more space out wide. So if they are really like getting on your outside and you're just not, the drift is just not quick enough, it is quite a tall order to sort of this person to, it's quite a lot of space to cover. So I'd say that is like a B plan. If you don't have 2 quick players who can make tags and cover, then you could go permanent sweeper. But I would like to see people trying this. I'd really love to know if you do try it. Let me know in the comments how you found it went. If everyone comes back and says it didn't work, then I'll need to adjust. But I can say that it worked for me at least. So, and I see a lot of teams struggling to defend against good teams. So, anyways, hope that is helpful. And yeah, see you in the next one.